G'day, g'day! I'm Ash, hope you're all doing fantastically well. Welcome yourselves back to War Thunder. Today we're taking out the BF-110, a G-2. The whole entire team is 90% filled with BF-110s, so why not take out a 4-man squad plus another 4-man squad of 110s and see how we do. Exactly how this battle will portray will probably be up to whether or not we can get the first strike on the enemy fighters. If they get the altitude, then we won't necessarily succeed. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the little intro there. BF-110 G2 is a favourite of mine because it gets an airborne. It allows you to climb passively towards an enemy position and then allows you to also go and attack enemy fighters when they least expect it. It's like playing the Stuka D5, except if you've got a slightly higher speed and you've also got the 420s. Now, the machine is quite optimal for this kind of behaviour, right? See it, the enemy fighters are just below us here. Can absolutely rip them a new one. Yeah, nothing to see here. Poor old one-tip getting absolutely burnt to a crisp. Regardless to say that this machine is probably the most fun I've had in a little while. And you know, it was introduced in update 1.79 Project X, which was a update which was introduced on 12th of June 2018. God, how time flies when you're necessarily having fun with an older vehicle. Exactly this machine is just very, very interesting. Combat flaps, taker flaps, landing flaps, no air brake, no arrestor gear. Doesn't necessarily need one of those. But look at this. You just sort of lead your shots onto an enemy aircraft and then just go head on with as many people as you possibly can. And if you force that first engagement, technically you have the energy advantage. It's a bit of a struggle on some of the larger maps, but for the most part, look at this poor P63. We're just going to sort of pretend like we know how to aim, and there we go. That's already 3 kills in under a minute. See if we can beat that at some point in time. Now comes the great turn fight, because as the enemy fighters have realised what is happening, now they have the upper advantage. So I'll call out to Silence to come and help me, and I'll try and go after the Spitfire. But I changed my mind halfway through, and I'm trying to get this F6F to really pull up and be a little bit of a slow bugger. Here I go, I'm panicking. Let's do a little bit of a wiggle here, try and get Silence in to kill this F6. He does manage to do so before he does collateral damage to my airframe, and now it's a matter of finding our next willing victim. The thing about this machine is it's got 58mm bulletproof glass in front of the pilot, and it has quite a lot of other armament presets as well. 6mm plate underneath the defensive gunner, 8.5 in front of the defensive gunner, 6mm plate around the liquid cooling system in the wings, another 6mm plate below the liquid cooling system, and a 10.5mm plate behind the pilot. And that being said though, it comes with an offensive preset of what you'd call to be decently adequate. 2 MK108 cannons with 255 rounds, and those are 30mm. But the preset that I've got enabled right now was essentially just the 4 20mm cannons, and as much DACA as you can possibly ask for. Yeah, it has a huge range of setups, and I like it. It's very versatile for something that is, it can hold bombs, it can hold a 37mm cannon, it can hold a bunch of decent things. It's generally considered to be a very versatile aircraft, and I like the use of this machine. Practically because it is the fastest BF-110 variant we have in the game, the highest rate of climb, it's also very good for multiple playstyles. Bomber hunting. Come on, if I can get the shots on this, there we go, poor BTD. And you can also do close air support, tank destroying, or you can be a support fighter, as you've seen in this match. A reality is, if you catch the enemy off guard, you can basically tear down most of their important fighters. You might die in the process, but having said that, you'll probably end up by taking out some of the most critical fighters and allowing the rest of your team to necessarily flourish. We had instances playing this on live stream where we had basically killed most of the turn fighting fighters, and the rest of the team didn't know what to do. So they went ground pounding. So you see half the team going after like the 2 to 3 targets that were left remaining, and you know, it is what it is. Now, this machine can survive a little bit of punishment, although War Thunder flight models tend to dictate that, well, a single 20mm gun to the rear tail section is enough to wipe the whole entire thing out. Had that happen a couple of times. You know, it's a very big target. You know, the rear-facing machine gun has no gun depression and can't really shoot below the vehicle, it can only really shoot above. So the rear gunner is basically dead weight at this point in time. And for a heavy fighter, or should I say a night fighter, or a ground attacker, it's a very interesting aircraft. Anyway, we've cottoned on to the last Spitfire in this match. He did do a runner. We managed to rearm, go back to base, and fix our damage. This is the guy that is a fan, so hello. Understand what you're doing. It's perfectly fine. You're trying to extend the match and trying to increase your odds, but Silence and I, after 20 minutes of playing this match, really wanted to go and do something else. Understandably so, chasing a Spitfire across the map is not exactly ideal. And with the rest of the team now have basically vanished due to a couple of fighters on the enemy team that were doing really well, it's down to me and Silence to kill this Spitfire. Now, I'll pull him in as a bit of a bait. He does get a couple of good hits on me. I don't actually think he fired a single shot there. But he did it silenced, that's for sure. He's trying to take my competition out. The idea here is to whittle him of his energy. Instead, what he's managed to do is make us lose our energy and our energy advantage. This thing flies like an absolute bus in certain circumstances, and you really have to lead your gun quite considerably in order to really feasibly work this machine. Yeah, I know, I'm trying to be a bit cheeky, get on the gunner and provide some distracting fire. It's not really going to work, but hey, it was a off-chance shot that, you know, you might catch the guy on fire. Anyway, Silence is tangoing with the Spitfire here. We'll pull down and try and see if we can get a bead on him. This is probably going to be the ending killing shot, if I can lead it correctly. No. Again, heavy elevator, not exactly the most maneuverable aircraft. And of course, the rear gun can't depress below the vehicle, so, as you just saw, yeah, not going to get rear fire on the machine at all. But I like this machine. It's fun. It's fantastic. Whether it's used in ground forces, in simulator, in enduring confrontation, the machine is really versatile, and I've got a good critical hit on that guy. See if we're going to roll around a bit more. And try and keep above him at the moment, so Silence gives him a good whack. Unfortunately, I think that was GG, as he's now spinning out of control and is going to hit the ground. Yeah, just like that. All it takes is one shot. And there you go, there's 5 kills. So yeah, we had fun playing this machine. Now on to the results. I don't think I need to say anything else, apart from the fact that, well, Silence managed to get higher in the scoreboard because he went after ground vehicles. Most of the team were BF-110s, so there's that. And really, there isn't much else to say about this machine. A fantastic all-round. If you want to try it in a air-spawn functionality, climb after everybody, shoot a bunch of fighters down, and just have a bunch of fun. Alright, that's the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. My name is Ash, and I'll catch you in the next one.